Hey guys, this is the last episode of the Europe series. What I'm going to do is I'm going to recap everything I went over and then talk about some packing tips, some pre-trip preparations, and then scams. I'll brief a little bit on the dick pic, and then I will invite you guys to choose the next location. Alright, first let's go over flights. Now remember to book your flight 10 to 3 weeks before you plan to travel. The sweet spot is around 5 weeks. In the description below, I'm going to link a study that shows it about 3 months before the trip is when prices start to drop off. But honestly, just find a price you're comfortable with and pay it when it hits that. Pretty simple. Also remember that once you get to Europe, flights are really inexpensive. One thing to keep in mind though is that while the flights are inexpensive, all of those budget carriers do charge an arm and a leg for checked luggage. So if you have any huge bags, you may end up spending $50 or so to check that bag. But as long as the cost is less than a direct flight, you're still better off. But keep in mind that having multiple flights like that does add a lot of complexity to your trip in case you miss a flight or anything like that. Another thing you can do is just book the flight immediately when you land. The price difference shouldn't be too much, and most of the time, depending on where you're flying to, it's going to be cheaper than flying there directly. Alright, let's talk about lodging. First, I'm going to go over couch surfing. Couch surfing is great. It's a great way to meet a local person who can show you the things to do, show you the things to not do, and introduce you to their friends, stuff like that. And it's free. However, it does cost time. What you want to do is put together a really great profile and an awesome initial message to send to the hosts. What I like to do is I like to tell people about the trip I'm taking, that I'm looking forward to seeing, certain things. That way I'm kind of engaging with them before I even get there. They're more likely to, at the very least, respond. And it may take some time to lock down a host. I also like to, once I'm there with the host, I like to offer to take them to dinner or offer to do chores around the house, or at the very least buy them a good bottle of wine or something. They're letting me sleep on their couch or, a private room. So that's the least you can do. Hostels are an awesome choice, especially in Europe. The hostel crowd is great. It's a great way to meet people, like-minded people who may potentially want to see the same things you want to see, who want to go on adventures and explore with you. It's awesome. However, a lot of hostels can be incredibly rowdy, super loud late at night. A lot of them have bars and clubs attached. So if you can't sleep well with loud noises and you don't like privacy, or you don't like not having privacy, then hostels might not necessarily be a good choice. If you do book a hostel, remember to try and book through the hostel itself. In the video before, as you recall, booking through hostelworld.com, they were charging about $30 to $40 more versus booking directly through the hostel. Now you might not always have a choice. A lot of hostels will rely on booking websites to facilitate that kind of transaction, but a lot of the times you can't go and directly book through the hostel. Now the last option besides hotels, but you know how to search for hotels, simply go to Google Maps, wherever you are, and then type in hotels, and the full range of hotels in that area will pop up. It's pretty simple to pick one. And again, book directly through the hotel. Don't use a booking website. But the last option is Airbnb. This is great. It's cheap. You can get awesome places, places with private rooms or even a whole apartment. Try and get one with a kitchen. That way you can cook your own food and save money that way. And try and get one with a laundry service. If you have one with a laundry service, you can wash your clothes, you don't have to pack as much, and that's always great. And speaking of packing, I'm going to go over some packing tips. For starters, whatever you take with you, you're responsible for that. You have to have a place to store it when you're out and about. You can't exactly lug this thing around Pompeii. I mean, you can. I don't think you want to. So, if you're staying in a hostel where you don't have a place to store this, they don't have, storage lockers or things like that, you might not want to either stay in a hostel or bring something crazy and silly large like this. This isn't mine, so don't think it is. What I like to go with is a simple duffel bag. It's soft, so you can just mash it into lockers and it'll fit everything you need. That with my backpack, that's literally all I need. Pretty simple. Moving on, things to pack. First, I'm going to go over footwear. You want a good pair of shoes. I mean, you're literally going to be walking everywhere. So having a nice pair of comfortable shoes are going to save your feet. Also, bring flip-flops. If you're staying in a hostel, I have seen, now granted these were awesome hostels and I had a great time, but their showers were disgusting. Flip-flops saved my feet from the nasty grime. Next, a waterproof jacket. It sucks getting caught in the rain. It sucks getting caught in the rain without a jacket. And if you do get caught in the rain and say you have your laptop or camera in your backpack, you can simply wrap that in your waterproof jacket and save them from getting ruined. Also, bring a pair of sunglasses. You're going to be outside a lot. You're going to have the sun in your face. Good pair of sunglasses with UV protection. They're going to save your eyes. 100% you need sunglasses. Now in the Argentina video, I talked about not bringing a water bottle. And it really depends on where you're going. If you're going to a place where the drinking water might not be safe, bringing a water bottle is just a waste of space. You're going to be buying bottles of water, just use those. But in the case of Europe, where the water is fine, in fact, some of the best water I've ever had was out of a random fountain in the middle of Switzerland, having a water bottle will make you sustainable. You're not going to, clutter up trash cans and stuff. And yeah, you just fill it up whenever you need water. Pretty simple. Duct tape. You need duct tape. You don't have to get a giant roll like this. They have smaller rolls. But I've had so many occasions where a roll of duct tape either saved me a huge headache or saved someone else a huge headache. For example, this thing on a buddy of mine's suitcase broke and saved the day with some duct tape. Pretty easy. Doesn't take up too much space. Next, you're going to want a first aid kit. Bring everything that you might use at home on a regular basis. Things like ibuprofen or Dramamine or Tums, anything like that that you don't want to be bothered going to a pharmacy and trying to find it. It'll save you some time, it'll save you some headache, and you're not going to get in any trouble for bringing that stuff in your suitcase. Next, a power adapter. I got this at an airport because I was dumb and I lost mine, but you can get this on Amazon for a few bucks. It has all of the attachments you're ever going to need while you're in Europe. I have never run into a situation where none of these didn't work, so grab one of these, you're going to need it. Lastly, bring a watch. It's nice to have something that you can, easily change when you transfer through time zones. That's comfortable, it's easy to tell the time. I wear a Nixon. What you shouldn't do is bring like a fancy Rolex, because you're just going to be a target for scams and thieves and con artists and stuff like that. Pretty sure this is fake anyways, but just in case. And speaking of scams, I'm going to have to do a larger video about this because scams, there's, kind of universal scams, which sounds really shady, but things that you should watch out for no matter where you are counterfeit bills, taxi drivers saying that they will take your credit card, and then lying to you and then making you pay cash. I've had that happen to me. And then the pretty girl scam. Pretty girl scam is a couple really pretty girls come up to you and say, "Oh, free drinks," and you're like, "Well, sweet, I love free drinks." You go to the bar, you get a couple free drinks, and then they leave, and then you get up to leave, and the bartender slaps a bill down, and you're like, the girl said the drinks were free. And the bartender goes, "Well, your drinks were free, but the girl's drinks weren't, and you paid for them." And they'll mark up the bill by like 2,000%, and the bouncer guy will be super scary, and he'll drag you to an ATM if you don't have cash and hurt you if you don't pay him. The only really way to protect yourself from that is if pretty girls come up to you offering free drinks, say no. I mean, lastly, the dick pic. I'll brief on it. I'll link the video to the better explanation right here, but the dick pic is simple. Just take a picture and just make copies of all of your documents, your passport, your travel insurance. You need travel insurance, by the way. 100%. Medical travel insurance. Regular travel insurance is up to you, but you need medical travel insurance. Check with your insurance provider and see if you're covered while abroad. If you're not, go to World Nomads. It's like $1 or so a day to get insured. But yes, dick pic, take a picture of all of your documents, all of the confirmation receipts between hotels or hostels or couch surfing, flight confirmations, train tickets, bus passes, all of that. Make copies of them and then upload them to a cloud. That way, if you lose any of that, you have access to it if you have access to the internet. It'll save you a huge headache if you lose anything and you have to go to the embassy or anything like that. It'll save you some time. This has been a lesson. I don't think I will ever do a video series about a entire region again. I think I'll stick to specific locations. It was genuinely hard getting all of this information together just because there's so much out there for things to do and places to stay and all of that. So I apologize if this video has been lacking. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, comment below. You guys know me. I'll respond as quickly as I can. Now I'm going to invite you to choose the next destination. In the description below, I'm going to link 10 destinations. Simply pick the one you like and comment it below. Right now I think it's a tie between Puerto Rico, Japan, and Norway. So if you like any of those countries, vote for it. If you don't, there's 7 other countries to choose from. I am super stoked to put together another video series. So far these first 2 series have been really fun. This channel has been growing faster than I thought it ever would. I'm going to make a video about that separately. But I'm really excited to be doing another one. It's really great. I'm hoping that all the information I'm giving you will help you one day to plan your own trip. That's really what I'm trying to accomplish, is just to make the planning aspect of travel less intimidating so you can see the world.